Before we begin, make sure to hit that subscribe button and turn on the notification bell, because today we're diving into one of the most surprising and valuable discoveries in American coin history. You might even have this coin sitting in a drawer, in an old coffee can, or tucked away in a jar you haven't touched in years. By the end of this video, you'll never look at a single penny the same way again. Now, let's take a trip back to 1982. Ronald Reagan was president, the price of gasoline was under $1, and the world was changing fast. In the middle of all that, something small but extraordinary happened, something that most people didn't even notice at the time. It involved one of the most ordinary coins in America, the Lincoln Memorial 1-cent coin. For decades, the penny had been made mostly of copper. Since 1909, when the very first Lincoln cent was introduced to honor Abraham Lincoln's 100th birthday, it carried with it a sense of pride and history. The copper penny had weight, a warm color, and a familiar sound when it hit the counter. But by the early 1980s, times were tough. The price of copper had climbed so high that the metal inside the penny was actually worth more than the penny itself. The U.S. Mint had a big problem on its hands. It was literally losing money, making money.so. In 1982, the Mint made a bold decision that would change the penny forever. They switched from solid copper to a cheaper metal, zinc, with only a thin copper coating on the outside. But the transition wasn't smooth or simple. That year, both copper and zinc pennies were made, and not all of them were labeled or identified clearly. In total, the Mint produced 7 different variations of the 1982 penny, with subtle differences in weight, size of lettering, and composition. Now, here's where things get really interesting, because during that transitional year, some very rare mistakes slipped through. These are the kinds of minting errors that make coin collectors' hearts race. Some 1982 pennies were struck in the wrong metal. Others had design combinations that were never meant to exist. And a few, just a few, were made of solid copper when they were supposed to be zinc. Imagine that. The smallest mistake, the tiniest mix-up in a massive factory of machines, ends up creating something worth more than gold. Collectors today have confirmed that one specific version of the 1982 Lincoln Memorial cent, the one struck with the small date on a copper planchet, is among the rarest and most sought-after coins in U.S. history. This coin weighs about 3.11 grams instead of the 2.5 grams of the newer zinc version, and that's one of the easiest ways to tell the difference. You can even check it yourself with a small digital scale. The small date 1982 D-copper cent is the real treasure. For years, experts debated whether this coin even existed. But then, one day, a few sharp-eyed collectors began to notice something unusual in their change. Pennies that didn't sound right, didn't weigh the same, or looked slightly different under the light. One by one, these discoveries started adding up, and eventually, the truth came out. The rare 1982 D small date copper penny is one of those incredible mistakes that the Mint never intended to create. Only a handful are known to exist, and the odds of finding one are unbelievably small. But here's the thing, they are still out there. People find them in inherited coin jars, in pocket change, even in old piggy banks that haven't been opened in decades. Now, let's step back for a moment and think about what this penny represents. For many of us, the Lincoln cent is more than just a coin. It's a piece of our own story. We grew up with it. We bought bubble gum, soda, and baseball cards with it. You might remember rolling up stacks of pennies with your parents, or cashing in a jar full of change at the bank to buy something special. The penny was part of everyday American life, a quiet witness to our work, our saving, and our dreams. And yet, out of all those billions of coins, one tiny mistake turned a simple penny into something worth a fortune. It's almost poetic, a symbol that even the smallest things, even the most overlooked, can hold hidden value. Collectors and experts continue to search for these rare 1982 varieties. Every once in a while, news breaks of a new discovery. A man cleaning out his father's old desk, a woman sorting her coin collection, or a kid using a magnifying glass to check the date on a coin. All of them with the same hope. Maybe this is the one that what makes it even more fascinating is that most of these rare coins were found by ordinary people, not professional collectors. People who just happened to pay attention, to look a little closer, and to recognize something special when they saw it. The next time you hold a penny in your hand, take a moment to look closely. Check the year, 1982. Look carefully at the date. Is it a large date or a small date? Does it feel a little heavier than usual? Because you might just be holding a piece of history that could change your life. The story of the 1982 Lincoln Memorial 1-cent coin isn't just about metal and money. It's about time, memory, and the strange ways the past can surprise us. It reminds us that value isn't always obvious, that sometimes what seems ordinary can be extraordinary if we know where to look for data. So before you toss that old change jar or spin that handful of pennies sitting in your car's cup holder, give them a second look. Because among those simple brown coins, there could be one that tells a story worth more than you could ever imagine. And now, here's the part you've been waiting for. The number that makes everyone sit up and take notice. One verified 1982 D-small date copper Lincoln Memorial cent has been valued at an astonishing $2 million. That's right, a coin that was worth just 1 cent when it left the mint has turned into a $2 million treasure. So take this as your reminder. Don't underestimate the power of a penny. History has a funny way of rewarding those who pay attention. Who knows? The next $1 million coin could be sitting right in your pocket. This coin, 1 cent 1982 Lincoln Memorial United States coin history. This coin 1981 Lincoln Memorial 1 cent. This small copper coin holds a big story, rich in history, artistry, and numismatic value. So sit back, relax, and let's explore every detail of this legendary penny together. The Lincoln cent has been in circulation for over a century. It was first introduced in 1909 to commemorate the 100th birthday of Abraham Lincoln, the 16th President of the United States. Designed by Victor David Brenner, it was the first U.S. coin to feature a real historical figure instead of symbolic design. This marked a major shift in American coin design philosophy and made the Lincoln cent an instant favorite among collectors. Why in 1959, the U.S. Mint decided to refresh the coin's reverse design. The wheat stalks were replaced with an image of the Lincoln Memorial, symbolizing unity, freedom, and respect for one of America's greatest leaders. This design by Frank Gasparo beautifully captured the monument's architecture and even included a tiny image of the statue of Lincoln inside the memorial. A remarkable detail considering the coin's small size. Fast forward to 1981, the year a featured coin was struck. The United States Mint was producing coins at 3 locations: Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. The 1981 Lincoln Memorial cent was made primarily of 95% copper and 5% zinc. The last full year before the mint switched to a cheaper copper-plated zinc composition in mid-1982. This makes the 1981 issue one of the final true copper pennies ever produced. The obverse or front of the coin features the timeless portrait of Abraham Lincoln, facing right, surrounded by the inscriptions "In God We Trust," "Liberty," and the year 1981. Beneath the date, you can find a small mint mark, a D for Denver, S for San Francisco, or no mark for Philadelphia. Each mint produced millions of these coins, but their condition, errors, and small variations can make certain pieces incredibly valuable today. On the reverse side, you'll find the Lincoln Memorial, a structure that represents equality and national pride. Above it, the words United States of America curve along the rim, with E pluribus unum just beneath, meaning out of many one. At the bottom, the denomination 1 cent is boldly displayed, completing this classic and dignified design. Now, what makes the 1981 Lincoln cent truly special to collectors are the variations and minting errors. During this period, the mint was transitioning between 2 different engraving styles for the lettering, known as Type 1 and Type 2 proofs. Type 1 has thicker, less defined letters, while Type 2 shows sharper and clearer lettering, especially noticeable in the word America. The Type 2 proof, especially from the San Francisco Mint, is much scarcer and sought after. Another key detail to note is that 1981 was among the last years coins were struck with high-quality copper before the composition changed. Because of this, 1981 copper cents often have a richer tone and heavier feel compared to later issues. Collectors value this as part of the coin's charm and historical authenticity. Error coins for 1981 can fetch impressive prices. Some have double dies, off-center strikes, or even broad strikes where the rim appears expanded. Each of these minting errors adds uniqueness and can dramatically increase a coin's value, depending on rarity and condition. Always check your old pennies closely. You never know what treasure might be hiding in your change jar. Now let's talk about the value of the 1981 Lincoln Memorial Cent. In circulated condition, it's generally worth its face value, 1 cent. However, uncirculated and proof examples can range from $1 to several $100s, depending on grading and rarity. The highest recorded auction price for a rare 1981 Lincoln cent with a major error and perfect proof strike has reached up to $2 million, making it one of the most astonishing sales in penny history. Yes, that's right, a simple 1 cent coin turning into a multi-million-dollar treasure. This incredible value shows how attention to detail, preservation, and rarity can transform an ordinary coin into an extraordinary collectible. It's not just about the material. It's about history, condition, and the story behind each mint mark or imperfection. Every coin has its journey, and sometimes that journey leads straight to the heart of a collector's dream that if you happen to own a 1981 Lincoln Memorial cent, take a close look under a magnifying glass. Check for strong details, proof-like surfaces, or unusual marks that could signal a rare variation. Also, consider getting it professionally graded. That's the best way to confirm authenticity and potential market value. Even if yours isn't a rare million-dollar coin, holding a 1981 penny is like holding a piece of American history. It's from a time when coins were made of real copper, reflecting a blend of artistry and durability that modern coins often lack. Each one carries a legacy of Lincoln's vision and the craftsmanship of the U.S. Mint as collectors. We cherish these coins not only for their potential worth, but also for their cultural and emotional significance. This coin 1 cent 1981 Lincoln Memorial United States coin history.